This is the Jamboard practice assignment for 3-5, graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form. I've included the steps at the top of each slide to remind you the steps that we need to take in order to graph each linear equation. Step 1, we want to make sure the equations are written in slope-intercept form. That's the form y equals mx plus b. The m value, whatever's in front of the x, represents the slope. And slope is rise over run. So the vertical change over the horizontal change. The b value represents the y-intercept. So I find it helpful to identify the slope and identify the y-intercept and then graph from there. So for instance, for number 6, the slope of the linear equation is -5 over 3. The y-intercept is the point 0, 4. So because the b value is 4, that means it's at the point 0, 4. Step 2, we want to graph the y-intercept, which is that point 0, 4. So let's go ahead and do that now. 0, 4. That's the point where it intersects the x-axis. From here, we're going to count out the slope. So we're going to count out the rise over run to get the next point on our line. Because it's -5 over 3, I'm going to choose to move down 5 units because I can't move up 5 because the graph won't allow. So if I move down 5, I then need to move to the right 3. For a negative slope, you have to have one negative direction and one positive direction. Positive directions include up and to the right. Negative directions include down and to the left. So we're going to go down 5 units. Now what I write in orange is not actually on our graph. I'm just showing you the directions I'm taking to get to the next point on our line. So we're going to go down 5 units to the right 3. And then we're going to plot our next point on the line right there. We can fit another point on this graph. Again, we're going to move down 5 units to the right 3. We now have 3 points on our graph. So to graph the line, we're just going to connect and extend with arrows. So again, those orange parts are not part of the graph. We just need those 3 points because we're able to fit all 3 points and the line that represents the linear equation. Now, if you notice, the equation has a negative slope, -5 over 3. So in class, we talked about checking to make sure that the line you graphed also has a negative slope. To do that, we think of our little man, and he would fall down, so we know that the slope of the line we graphed is negative, and the slope of the linear equation is also negative, so we know we graphed the slope correctly, at least with the right sign. Our next equation, we have 2x equals 4. So that's only one variable, so we're going to solve for that one variable, and it's either going to be a vertical line or a horizontal line. To solve, we're going to divide both sides by 2. We get x equals 2. So remember, we want to graph a line through the point 2, 0. So we know by that it's going to be a vertical line, right? Because all points on that line have a x value of 2. And the slope of a vertical line is undefined. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. For number 9, we need to first write the equation in slope-intercept form. So we need to solve the equation for y. So we're always going to either add or subtract the x term first. It's negative 3x, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. This should bring back some memories of what we did in Unit 1 when we solved for a specific variable. What we're left with is 4y equals, now we want it to be mx plus b, so let's write our x term first. And our next step is to divide all three terms by 4. So the equation in slope-intercept form is y equals 3/4 x minus 4. So now before we graph, let's quickly label the slope and the y-intercept. So we have all of our key characteristics or factors of this linear equation. We've highlighted them on the side. So our slope is 3/4, 3/4. So we're either going to move up 3 and to the right 4, or we can go down 3 and to the left 4. And then the y-intercept is -4, so it's the point 0, -4. Remember, to start, we're going to start by plotting the y-intercept first. And then from there, we're going to graph our next point on the line by using the slope to show the direction. So we're going to go up 3 units and to the right 4 units. Now that's all I can fit on this specific coordinate plane. So we're going to go ahead and just graph our line by connecting and extending with arrows. That's it for the Jamboard practice assignment for 3-5, graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form.